Come on, we better get moving.
Drops are potions that have with 2 effects. Elixirs are potions that have 3 or more effects.
Come on. I feel better once we're under cover in Riverwood. General Tullius has his headquarters in Castle Dower, in the City of Solitude, northwest of here. You'll want to talk to Legate Ricka. She deals with the new recruits. I'll be sure to put in a good word for you if I get back to Solitude first.
Thank you.
We'd better keep moving. I feel like that dragon might be up there watching us right now. Listen, you should go to Solitude and join up with the Imperial Legion. We could really use someone like you. And if the rebels have themselves a dragon, General Tullius is the only one who can stop them. See that ruin up there? Bleak Falls Barrow. When I was a boy, that place always used to give me nightmares. Draugr creeping down the mountain to climb through my window at night. That kind of thing. I admit, I still don't much like the look of it. These are the Guardians. 3 of the 13 ancient standing that dot Skyrim's landscape. Ward, sure. I knew you shouldn't have been on that cult the minute I laid eyes on you. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, you've already earned your palm. But until we get that confirmed by General Tullius, just stay clear of other Imperial soldiers and avoid any complications, all right? I'm glad you decided to come with me. We're almost to Riverwood. Uncle Alvor, hello.
Feindal thinks he can woo Camilla Valerius away from me. She's already mine, I keep telling him. I'd better get going.
What's going on? And who's this?
He's a friend. Saved my life, in fact. Come on, I'll explain everything, but we need to go inside.
Okay, come inside then. Sigrid will get you something to eat, and you can tell me all about it.
A dragon! I saw a dragon!
What? What is it now, Mother?
It was as big as a mountain, black as night. It flew right over the barrel.
You're kind of fuzzy. What's wrong with you?
And I've got better things to do than listen to more of your
It was a dragon. It'll kill us all.
I heard Lucan yelling the other day about a thief breaking into a store. It wasn't me, honest.
Sigrid, we have company.
Ain't used to strangers here in Riverwood. I just hope the war doesn't come to Riverwood. There's enough trouble in the world without those stormcloaks stirring up more. I just hope the war doesn't come to Riverwood. There's enough trouble in the world without those stormcloaks stirring up more.
Ain't every day we get visitors in Riverwood. Gerder's family first settled here as woodcutters a few generations ago. She and Hod run the mill. I make a decent living sharpening axes and fixing the sawmill. People are rightly stirred up about the damn Thalmor being allowed to roam around arresting people just for worshipping Talos. But was it worth tearing Skyrim apart and maybe destroying the Empire? No. Ulfric will have a lot to answer for in the end. Nords have always supported the Empire, and the Empire has always been good for Skyrim. It's from that treaty that ended the Great War, remember? When the Emperor was forced by the Thalmor to outlaw Talos worship. We didn't pay much attention to it when I was a boy. Everyone still had their little shrine to Talos. But then, Ulfric and his Sons of Skyrim started agitating about it. Sure enough, the Emperor had to crack down, dragging middle of the night. One of the main causes of this war, if you ask me. Of course, take what you need. But what's all this about? What are you two doing here? What? A dragon? In Helgen? That explains what I saw earlier, flying down the valley from the south. I was hoping I was wrong about what I thought it was. A dragon? Here in Skyrim? What's this world coming to? First the war, now dragons. Trouble loves company, they say. The Jarl needs to know if there's a dragon on the loose. Riverwood is defenseless. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf in Whiterun to send whatever soldiers he can. If you'll do that for me, I'll be in your debt. Cross the river and then head north. You'll see it just past the falls. When you get to Whiterun, just keep going up. When you get to the top of the hill, Dragon's Reach, the Jarl's palace. Jarl Balgruuf, he rules Whiterun Hold. A good man, perhaps a bit overcautious, but these are dangerous times. So far, he's managed to stay out of the war. I'm afraid it can't last, though. I don't think he likes either Ulfric or Elisif much. Who can blame him? But I've no doubt he'll prove loyal to the Empire in the end. He's no traitor. Of course, Skyrim has always been part of the Empire. That doesn't mean I support everything the Empire's been doing lately. But Nords have never been fair-weather friends. Of course. I forget you're new to Skyrim. Jarl Elisif, I should say. Although only because she was married to Jarl Torygg when he was murdered. Ulfric murdered Torygg, you know. Walked right into his palace in Solitude and killed him. Shouted him to death, if you believe the stories. That's what started this whole war. The Empire couldn't ignore that. Once the Jarls start killing each other, we're back to the bad old days. Of course. Like I said, I'm glad to help in any way I can. Help yourself to whatever you need, within reason. I see no harm in it, if you have the skill. The grindstone will improve your weapons. Use the table to improve your armor. If you've got the raw materials, you can use the forge to make something new. Farewell, kinsman.
I'm so worried about you. Come, you two must be hungry. Sit down and I'll get you something to eat.
Now then, boy. Helgen was destroyed. How did you get away?
I don't know where to stop. You know I was assigned to Jarl Talia's school. We were stopped in Helgen. We were attacked by a dragon.
When your friend told me, I didn't believe it at first either.
Goodness mercy. A dragon? In Helgen? Why, you could be here at any moment.
to send soldiers. Go on, Hadvar. Let's hear the rest of it.
Not much more to Terra. This dragon flew over and just wrecked the whole place. Mass confusion. I don't know if anyone else got out alive. I doubt I'd made it out myself if not for my friend here. I need to get back to Solitude and let them know what's happened. I thought you could help us out. Food, supplies, a place to stay.
Of course. Any friend of Hadvar's is a friend of mine. Glad to help however I can. Take what you need, my friend. Within reason, of course. Right.
Hadvar,
See
did
you
you
around.
really see a dragon? What did it look like? Did it have big teeth?
Well,
Don't pester your cousin.
You two make yourselves at home.
It's nice to be back in a friendly spot, huh? Listen, keep your guard up. Be careful on the way to Solitude. Damn stormcloaks could be anywhere. What the rebels like to forget is that the Empire is what's keeping the Dominion out of Skyrim. Stay sharp. I hope I'll see you in Solitude. Good luck.
Did you really see a dragon? Papas isn't too friendly with strangers, but you seem alright.
Damn Stormcloak rebels.
Making food. A Gentleman's Guide to Whiterun by Mikhail the Bard. Welcome, good sir, to this indispensable guide. Within these pages I, your humble author and guide, will describe to you the great city of Whiterun, the jewel of the north. Whiterun offers numerous diversions for the man in search of adventure, fortune, and companionship, whether for a night or for a lifetime. The city is graced with not one but two worthy taverns, and there are maids and wenches aplenty. The city is located rather centrally in Skyrim, and this is well, for it is not far from anywhere. Perched high upon a rocky hill, Whiterun dominates the grassy plains that surround it. High stone walls protect its denizens from the wolves, mammoths, bandits, and other dangers lurking beyond. When you first enter through the city's main gates, you will find yourself in the Plains District. This is so named because it is the lowest of the city's three neighborhoods. But here can be found the Bannered Mare, which I count among the finest taverns in all Skyrim. The scenery within is quite compelling if you have an eye for the fairer sex. A stout lass named Hulda tends the bar. Don't let that stony Nord exterior fool you, for she is possessed of that same fiery passion that all Nord women try so hard to conceal. Thadia the barmaid is an exotic Redguard beauty. She is quite mysterious, and your humble author is determined to learn her secrets. Outside the Bannered Mare is a modest marketplace, and here is where I found true love, although I would never deter a fellow hunting hound from the chase. For indeed, why should I author these tomes if not to provide guidance in this very matter? I must ask that you do me this one kindness. Her name is Carlotta Valentia, and she is a magnificent beauty who makes a modest living selling bread and produce in the daylight hours. By the gods, I will make that feisty beauty mine some day. And of course, there are other services to be found in the Plains District. Bethanor's General Goods offers various sundry wares for the adventurous traveler, and Arcadia's Cauldron offers what tonics and herbs one would expect from an apothecary's shop. Arcadia herself is an amenable sort. I often visit her to make conversation, as she is an imperial from far from home. She is, however, a bit old for my taste. A gentleman of advanced years might find in her a worthy companion. Should you need your blade sharpened or your armor hammered, War Maidens offer smithing services very near the main gate. The smith is a pretty imperial named Adrian Avici, but she is married to a great hulking brute named Albrecht Warbear. Adrian is quite fair, but I should not want to find myself being introduced to the keen edge of her husband's war axe. If married ladies are your preferred sport, then have at it, but don't say that you weren't warned. Near the smith is the drunken huntsman. Here some of the wealthier gentlemen gather to share both drinks and rumors of the wide world. If you prefer a more distinguished class of company, while you sip fine wine, you'll be well at home here. Of the Wind District I have little to say. Most of the buildings in this second tier of the city are residences, though there is also a temple of Kinnereth and Jorbiskar, the mead hall of the companions. There are some intriguing prospects to be found in the mead hall, should you favor a strong and fearless warrior woman. You will find little game at the temple, however. The priestess Danica Purespring is interested almost exclusively in spiritual matters. At last we come to the Cloud District, exclusive domain of the Jarl's castle. I have had some merry adventures within the stone walls of Dragonreach, let me tell you. The serving girls are most easily impressed by a well-spoken gentleman. After all, the nights of Skyrim do grow quite cold if you take my meaning. And I will not deny that I have visited the town's jail once or twice, which can be found in the lower levels of the palace. As for the Jarl and his court, take pains to avoid them. I find that they lack any sense of humor or appreciation of refined culture. Besides which, they are all wealthy men, and so must be viewed as your most serious competition. These Nords are simple folk, after all, and too easily swayed by the sight of fine clothes and a purse full of septums. Now I will conclude this work by wishing you great success in your pursuits of women and wine. Spare a moment in your revels to think of me, your humble author, and the risks I have taken to bring you this thorough report of all things of interest to discerning gentlemen in the grand city of Whiterun. But I will not lie and say that it was all a hardship. After all, who could want to sleep alone in such a cold and hard land as this? Not I.
Take what you need, my friend. Within reason, of course. Weapons and armor need leather for straps, fittings, that kind of thing.
Oh, right. I knew that.
And we'll end this one here.